sign on a wall, rust on a car, that type of stuff.
Et cetera, yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, those payments are due at the IRS, and I'm getting ready to send my payment in. It's due Friday. I want to talk a little bit about best ways to get your money to the IRS. You can still send a check. You can still send a money order. If you want to send in a payment, I don't recommend doing that because a human being at the IRS is going to get that check once it goes through the mailroom, and you are depending on them to properly key in your social or whatever. And I have a little story in my book about how a taxpayer sent in a $10,000 payment and it didn't get credited to their account. And they went back and forth with the IRS for 2 or 3 years, and
Let me guess. When they figured out their mistake, you still had to pay the interest on the time.
Well, unfortunately, I never knew the outcome. This is when I was an analyst at the IRS, and this case landed on my desk. It was a congressional case because someone had contacted their congressman, like, IRS, I sent $10,000. Where's my payment? Because the IRS was coming after him. People were knocking on the door. And so I had to leave the case before I could find the end of it, which is unfortunate. But anyway, so best ways to get it, in my opinion, is through EFTPS, the Electronic Federal Tax Payment System. I talk about that, Chapter 7 in my book. And EFTPS is so simple to use, so incredibly simple. You go to EFTPS.gov, put in your name, your address. If you are an individual, sole proprietor, an LLC, you are going to select individual to set up your account with EFTPS. If you're a business owner and you have payroll, you're going to sign up as a business in the EFTPS website. But most people, sole proprietors, LLCs, are signing up as an individual. You sign up, you get your information in, 10 days later or so, you're going to get a letter in the mail, and it's going to have a PIN number. And you take that PIN number, you go back to EFTPS, drop in your PIN, create a password, and boom, now your bank account is linked to EFTPS.
Is this when the population listening to you drops their pen, picks it back up, and writes down your phone number? So
Yes,
they can call you?
737-234-0196. I help individuals, I help small businesses, I walk people through this all the time. I never get tired about talking about this because it's so simple and so easy, and it saves people a ton of heartache and a ton of mess down the line. This podcast I was on the other day, this guy has been in business. He's been in business about 3-4 years, sole proprietor. He had no idea EFTPS existed. He's been just writing a check, sending it into the IRS, estimated tax payments on a quarterly basis. And I said, well, you can keep doing that, but do this other thing. It's secure, it's instant, you get confirmation the IRS has your money, which is what you want.